Here we are in section 4.3 exercises part C. It's a review for the exam for some more. Fill out the table for each of the following. We're going to do 6 and 7 like that, and then 8, 9, and 10 down below. Number 6, fill out the table. Here we've got 5 going in for x. Substitution there. So we have 3 times 5, so 15, plus 4y equals 11. And then solve for y to see what the partner of 5 is. Subtract 15, and we get 4y equals negative 4. Divide by 4, and we get y equals a negative 1. So negative 1 goes in there. The next one, negative 4 goes in for x. And let's put this guy right over here. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12 plus 4y equals 11. Add 12 to both sides and we get 4y equals 23. Divide by 4 and we get y equals 23 fourths. So there we have it, 23 fourths. Good. The next one, let's stick 3 goes in for y this time, not in for x, in for y. So we get 3x plus 12 equals 11. Subtract 12 from both sides and we get 3x equals a negative 1. Divide by 3 and we get x equals a negative 1/3. So negative 1/3. And you can try all these points. If you stick negative 1/3 in for x and 3 in for y, it will turn out to be 11. All right, the next one, 0. Oh, I do like 0, so 0 goes in. Let's put this one right over here. 0 goes in for y, and we get 3x plus 4 times 0. So that's just 0 and is gone, equals 11. Divide by 3 on both sides, and we get x equals 11/3. So 11/3. And finally, we stick in 7 for y. So let's put this one right down here. 3x plus 4 times 7, that's plus a 28, equals 11. Subtract 28 from both sides and we get 3x equals negative 17. Is that right? 11 minus 28. Yeah, negative 17. And we divide by 3 and we get x equals a negative 17/3. So negative 17/3. And you could put those into your decimals by sticking them in your calculator without a problem. Let's check our answer here. So we get 5, negative 1, 4, 23 fourths, negative 1/3, 3, 11/3, 3, negative 17/3, and 7. Excellent. So number 7, we're going to do the same thing, but it's written in slope-intercept form. So we stick 2 up here for x, and we get y equals 7/4 times 2 minus 2. That's y equals 7, let me see, that's 2 over 1. Those will cancel and leave a 2. So 7/2 minus 2. 2 is 4/2, which means this will equal 7/2 minus 4/2 is 3/2. Or if you wanted to stick that in your calculator, that is okay too. 3/2 or 1.5. Now let's stick in 0 for x and bring that right down here. If we stick in 0 for x, we get y equals 7/4 times 0 is just 0 minus 2. Oh yes, that's the y-intercept and will always be that number. I like that form. That's pretty nice. The next one, we stick in negative 1 for x. And let's put this guy right over here, down here. Y equals 7/4 times a negative 1 is negative 7/4 minus 2. That's negative 7/4, common denominator. 2 would be 8/4. So we subtract it. Negative 7 minus 8/4 equals negative 15/4. Or you could plug that into your calculator and get about negative 3.75. That's good. Negative 15/4. Alrighty. Let's take the next one. Oh, 0. We like this, sticking 0. Oh, but this is going in for y, so that's not nearly as nice with this form. 0 equals 7/4 x minus 2. Let's multiply through by 4 to get rid of the fraction. Or you could just have started by adding 2 together, but timesing by 4, you get 0 equals 7x, those 4's cancel, minus 4 times 2 is 8. So then we add 8 to both sides, equals 7x, and then divide by 7. X equals 8/7. And you could have added 2 and then divided by the 7/4. That would have given you the same thing. 8/7, which is about 1.14. And the final one on this problem, number 4, sticking in for y. So let's put this guy down here. 4 equals 7/4 x minus 2. Let's multiply by 4 and get rid of those fractions. Times by 4 everywhere, and we have 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 7/4 does its magic work and gets rid of those fractions. We have 7x minus 8. So add 8 to both sides, and we get 24 equals 7x, and divide by 7, and we get x equals 24 divided by 7. So 24/7. Okay, let's check our answers. We have 2 and 3/2, 0, -2, -1, -15/4, 8/7, 0, and 24/7, 4. Excellent. Now moving on to number 8. Graph the following lines labeling the x and the y intercepts. So we're not just supposed to get the slope and a point, we're supposed to get the x and y intercepts. And when it asks for intercepts, you must find the following 2 points. You must find it when x is 0 to get the y-intercept, and when y is 0 to get the x-intercept. So let's do those. Stick in 0 for x, and we get 5 times 0 is 0 minus y equals 10. Oh, divide by -1. That was a nice one. Y is a -10. And when we do the x-intercept, we stick in y is 0, and we get 5x minus 0 equals 10. Divide by 5, and we get x equals 2. So we get 2, 0. So the graph of this then looks like 0, -10 is way down here. 2, 0 is right about here. And there's our line with the x and the y intercepts right there. Let's check our answer for number 8. Yes, 0, -10, and 2, 0. And there's the line. Good. Next one, number 9. We're going to get the x-intercept, or the y-intercept, 0. Oh, this is a nice one. Y is by itself, so we stick in 0, and we get y equals -4/3 times 0 is 0 minus 5. So that's good. We get a -5 there. And if we stick in the y-intercept, no, the x-intercept, y for 0, we stick in 0 up there, and we get 0 equals -4/3 x minus 5. Multiply through by 3, and we times 3 to get rid of those fractions. And we get 0 equals -4x minus 15. Add 15 to both sides and divide by a -4. We get x equals -15/4. Oh boy. So that's about 3.75. So when we graph it, we get, let's put this right down here in this corner, we get 0, -5 is about right down here. And -15/4, 0, so that's -3.75, which is about right here then, 0. And it goes down like this. Now, for those of you that miss using the slope, you can still see that we graphed the right line by the slope as being a negative, kind of bigger than 1 fraction, so it's going to be kind of steep. And number 9 is 0, -5, -15, 0. Excellent, and there's our line. Okay, and the last one. Let's do y equals -2x. So we've got to find the y-intercept. If we stick 0 in for x, what do we get out for y? And we get y equals 0. Oh boy, that's an x-intercept and a y-intercept at the same time. Let's put him on the graph. Now we have both the x and the y-intercept right there, but we need another point. We only have 1 point, so we don't have we don't know where that line is yet. So we have to pick something else to stick in just so we know where the line is. Let's stick in 3 for x. Stick in 3 for x, and we get y equals -2 times 3 is -6. So we get a -6. There we go. And so 3 over 6 down. Whoa, yeah, it's about right down here. And we get, yeah, something that looks like that. A little bit crooked there. Good, let's check our answer. And on number 10, there we go. We have 0, 0. That's the x and y intercept. They chose a different second point, 2, -4, but that's perfectly all right. There is the line. Good.